Hey, folks, good morning. I'm your host, BKP. You're watching BKP Politics on FYNTV.com. Good Thursday morning, 8 a.m., 11 to 11, 2021. As the impeachment circle turns, right? I've been asked this morning to let's name the daytime soap opera something, okay? The impeachment trial 2.0 of Donald Trump continues. Folks, we talk about it every day. Let's see, did I say this? BKP Politics, FYNTV.com. We have a lot going on today. There is the email address right there. You could always send me things, information, articles, whatever, research, anywhere across the United States. There's our phone number. You can always text the show. You could say you want to be on the show. We're going to have two guests on today. We're going to have one guest to talk about impeachment, and then I got a special guest from out west. We're going out west, okay, across the Mississippi, the mighty Mississippi. Okay, so I'm looking over here because I want to make sure I got everything up, all the social media ways. Uh, it's a daytime soap opera, okay? It is. If and I want to say this because there's a lot we have to cover today. Okay. If if Congress does not have a daytime soap, then give me number 53. Then these people would not have 24-hour news cycles, and people like Rachel right here, second impeachment trial of Donald Trump, they would not have a nighttime show. Now, I am not knocking Tucker. I like Tucker. Okay, some of the nighttime lineup is pretty good, not bad. Okay, but the daytime soap operas, and if they don't have that, they wouldn't have the nighttime shows. Um, what they say, if you watch a soap opera on Monday, Wednesday, and then Friday, I mean, it's a real like Who Shot JR, right? Tune in next season to find out who shot JR. Remember that famous scene that night? Oh, for your young people, it was called Dallas. His name was J.R. Ewing, and he was the bad guy, and somebody shot him, and we had to wait a whole year or season to find out who shot. There you go. That's for the kids out there. It's a daytime soap. As the Beltway spins, we got to come up with something, okay? Now, next season, go ahead and take that down. I can't look at Rachel that long. Next season, okay? Um, what I mean by that is, what will they do when they don't have the daytime Donald Trump soap opera? Now, I know they're going to go right into figuring out and bashing the Republican Party. We're going to get into the soul of the Republican Party in just a minute. But what will they do next? Okay. They're close to running. Are they close to running out of, what will they do next? Okay. Wondering. Now, yesterday we watched video. Okay. And we actually watched video of, Mitt Romney running, right? And I think we have a picture of Capitol Police escorting Mitt Romney back out of the danger area. Number 59, we have a picture of Mitt Romney being escorted back out of the danger area. That's number 59. You put that up, please. If you get there, I know I send a lot of pictures. Okay. That's drunk Tom Brady. That's not Mitt Romney. I know I called for that. That was me. I know, a little corny, right? I enjoyed drunk Tom Brady yesterday. And Gronk. Is that Gronk, right? Getting him out of there. And Brady's looking back and telling him, I love you, man. I love you, man. All right. That's better than the whole impeachment trial. The whole thing yesterday. You got to love drunk Tom Brady better than any of it. Anyhow, get that off the screen. So a little joke, but, hey, that's what it is. So I'm going to, at 8:30 this morning, because we've been talking about every day the soul of the Republican Party, all right? And they don't get it, all right? Now, what do I say while the soap opera is going on in Washington, D.C. on a daily basis? What's happening underneath? Let's pay attention to what's happening underneath. Now, we have been asking the question, who is running the place, okay? Who's in charge, all right? Because we know it's not feeble Joe Biden. We know this feeble old guy, okay, that, is in the Oval Office, assuming the chair, okay, sitting behind the desk, signing the executive orders that somebody else is creating and putting together for him and saying it'll be okay. Joe, you just sit there and say, within 100 days, we're going to get kids back in school at least one day a week. You just sit there and say stuff like that that sounds presidential. We're going to give you some sounding presidential sound bites. And we're going to give you, Joe, a couple sound bites that makes it look and appear like you're angry, you're passionate, you're in charge, you're involved, you're concerned, we're going to give you all of that. You just do that a couple times a day. We got the rest, Joe. We will handle it. So who is this group that's really handling it? Who's behind the scenes? Because as the soap opera goes on, they don't want you to see. Give me number 7. Do you know who this is? Do you? We're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about this because this is behind the scenes that we need to talk about, okay? Now, first of all, I don't want to say Mike Lindell and his pillow. Just saying, where's Mike Lindell and his pillow, okay? Because we're asking nicely this is my plea to the deep state. Number 14. To the deep state, please do not, I'm begging you, please do not, Antonin Scalia, Justice Clarence Thomas. Please don't do it, okay? I mean, where is that damn Mike Lindell and that pillow, okay? We need 24-hour security around this guy. Keep all the pillows away from this guy. If anybody sees this guy sleeping with a pillow over his face, stop it, okay? Because I will get into the show today, but I'm really concerned that they may Antonin Scalia, Justice Clarence Thomas. Just saying. Have you seen the group running the show? It just brings back memories. Was it Vince Foster that died with a suicide with a gunshot wound in the back of the head? Is that who that was? I don't know. I'm just saying. You know me and my damn conspiracy theories, right? If you're new to the show, hell, stick around. I'll say anything. So my guest at 8:30, the soul of the Republican Party, they don't get it. We had. Now we're getting out in front of things. If you're watching this show, you're watching things out front. You are in tune. You're not putting up with the bull crap of Eric Swalwell that had a Chinese spy as a prom date, standing on the floor, talking about our president of the United States and how they escaped narrowly. They narrowly got out. Is it just me? Is this bad? But they showed me video of people looking for Nancy Pelosi. I don't know. So they were searching for Nancy Pelosi. I don't know. So they were searching for Chuck Schumer. Just saying. Was that wrong? Maybe the video didn't bother me quite as much as it did the elite lawmakers on the floor. I wasn't there, but, saw they were chasing Nancy. Okay, well, she screwed the American people. I mean, the corruption, okay, I don't know. Maybe they were chasing her. Maybe they were going to yell citizens arrest. I don't know. Maybe if they'd have caught Chuck Schumer, they would have just yelled citizens arrest, turned him over to the authorities. I don't know. Just saying. But they don't get it. My guest last week on the show, maybe it was Monday, Lee Snover in Pennsylvania, they censured the Northampton Republican Party in Pennsylvania, censured Pat Toomey. We know Pat will probably be one of the, give me number 26, okay? They were the first, and here they are. Prosecutors paint former President Trump as inciter in chief. Oh, that damn Trump. Trump yelled charge. That's what they want to say. Trump yelled charge. Wait a minute. I'm looking for something. I'll find it. I'll show you later. So these are right now who they think could possibly vote to impeach the senators. Here are the 6. Now, Pat Toomey was one. I'm going somewhere with this because I'm more interested in the soul of the Republican Party. I'm more interested in 2022. I'm more interested in getting out the swamp, getting some good candidates to run. I'm more interested in who is running the shadow government, okay? Who's running the Biden administration, okay? I'm more interested in that than the charade, the soap opera on the floor of the House, on the floor of the Senate called impeachment. But Northampton Republican Party in Pennsylvania censured Pat Toomey right here, their senator. Illinois, I think the district, I don't have it up. Illinois censured, is it Kinzinger? Representative Kinzinger, okay. Nebraska, one of the county Republican parties in Nebraska has censured Ben Sasse, Senator Ben Sasse. Oh, that would be him, Nebraska right there, okay. The Wyoming Republican Party, the state censured Liz Cheney. Now, we heard the arrogance this past Sunday, okay, with Chris Wallace from Liz Cheney, the one and only sole representative in Wyoming. Okay, we heard the arrogance. Now, at 8:30, and I want to go there, give me number 1. So after the Sunday show, and I know it's Thursday, I wanted to do this. I wanted to get this, not rush it, because we're talking about the soul of the Republican Party. Now, I think Wyoming, I don't have it up. I think they have 3 electoral votes. I'm not 100% sure. I think they only have 3. They only have 1 state representative. 1, that's it. Okay? And that would be, give me number 2. And I took this graphic, so you know, in clarity, okay, from the, in Wisconsin, from the Carbon County, Wyoming, Carbon County Republican Party Facebook page. Liz Cheney censured in Wyoming over impeachment vote. Okay. Now go back to number 1. So the guy at the Republican Party, it all has to start somewhere. So last Sunday, I'm watching Chris Wallace and I'm listening to the arrogance of Liz Cheney. And she's talking to Chris Wallace and she says, Trump there's intense, deep criminal investigations. So she's implying the president, the next up is a criminal investigation. Oh, hell, Fulton County, Georgia. My God, this is going to be a 4-hour show today, maybe, okay? And I don't say that jokingly. I mean, give me number 16. This is next up. Pay attention to me, damn it. I hope you're listening. So number 16 here. We'll get back to you, Joey. Fulton County DA opens criminal investigation into Trump attempt to overturn Georgia election. I was thinking the next after the impeachment would be the criminal investigations that will go on. And proudly, Georgia, Brad Raff, let me get this out. Georgia, I want to say something. I hope you're listening. I gave you time. Listen to me. All right? Give me number 60. I will. I don't think, and we're going to come back to that when we're bouncing around. Emily, you're doing a great job. Okay, thank you this morning. But give me number 60, okay? Because she has to resize this. I don't think I've ever said this. I really don't. This could be a first that I've made this kind of comment. When you get to, did I send 60? Oh, she's going to say I never sent it. Okay, let me send it first. I'm sorry, folks. You know how I am, right? Emily, sorry for folks. Don't get all upset over this. All right, Emily, it's 60 is soon on its way. So let's stay right there for a minute. All right. So after the impeachment, what's going to happen? Liz Cheney says to Chris Wallace Sunday, criminal investigation. So she's implying, you know what? We're not done with this guy. I'm thinking, my God, this is the only representative this state has. She is the third ranking Republican. Where'd she get this power? There is Kevin McCarthy, Steve Scalise, and Liz Cheney, the third highest ranking Republican in the House. And she is saying, you know what? And this is what got me. She basically says, the people of Wyoming will get over it when they hear the truth come out. They'll get over it. Basically, go watch the video. So Sunday, I'm listening, and she says, and what I do is I just stamp that all over the country. Will you get over it in Georgia? Will you get over it in Pennsylvania? Will you guys just get over it? Because we said, and Liz Cheney basically said, the people back in Wyoming, and Chris Wallace said, in 11 minutes, they voted to censure you on a state level. Oh, once they hear they'll get over it. They'll be okay. I'm thinking, I wonder what the people of Wyoming think. So I called them. I went online, found a Wyoming GOP. I sent them a message, said, could somebody call me? They had Joey Corrente. Joey Corrente is the chairman of the Carbon County Republican Party in Wyoming. He is the author of the resolution in the county that started Liz Cheney's being censured on the state level. So just like Northampton County censured Pat Toomey, and one county in Lincoln, Nebraska censured Ben Sass, this guy wrote the language, and then every Republican Party in every county in Wyoming wrote their language off of his. They all did it, came together last Saturday, and on a statewide level censured Liz Cheney. So I said, I want to know if the people of Wyoming are going to get over Liz Cheney. So I called him. I got him coming up in just a couple minutes. It's a long interview, but you want to hear it because the soul of the Republican Party, Liz Cheney voting to impeach with the arrogance, Donald J. Trump, that the people of Wyoming will get over it. Okay, so we did that. Then what's next? So what did they do next? Criminal charges. They are not, they will go 14th Amendment. We'll talk about that later, but they're going to try. Here it is. Fulton County DA. Now, this is where I said earlier, I don't think I've said this. I don't think in my lifetime I've said this. No matter where you're at in the United States, please pick somebody. I'm going to ask you to do the same thing that I'm about to do. So if you're in Pennsylvania, if you're in Michigan, if you're in Wyoming, pick someone somewhere and apply what I'm about to do. Number 60. This is the Secretary of State of Georgia, Brad Raffensperger. let me look directly in the camera, okay? I will work harder than I have ever worked in my entire life to make sure this man is not reelected. So you pick your candidate and you get your energy drink and you get your vitamins ready and you make sure you get a good night's sleep and you apply the same thing to your candidate, because this man right here is despicable. Yes. And if I was Daffy Duck, I would have spit that out, right? But this guy's despicable. He is the worst of the worst. He is a Republican. He had Donald Trump's conversation recorded with the President of the United States recorded. Okay? Gabriel Sterling, the list goes on. I'm not going to do a whole segment on him. But the Secretary of State, the DA in Fulton County, is going to open criminal charges, which I hope now the phone call with him, this guy right here, that phone call is listed Georgia Trump Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger's phone call is listed in the articles of impeachment. So I don't want to use too much energy right now, but I will work tirelessly. I will get up on Sunday, Monday, it doesn't matter. And I will go anywhere in the state of Georgia and do anything I have to do to make sure that man on the screen is not reelected in Georgia. I will take anything thrown at me because I am all in at making sure. Now, there's some other people I'm not real happy with in Georgia. We'll talk about that, but that one right there. Yes, that one right there. Now, let me say this before we get to our first guest here. It's a long interview, but yes, I wanted to talk about, the soul of the Republican Party. We are going to do a full segment today. Don't leave, on who's behind. Okay. I will tell you now who's behind it. All right. We're going to do the whole segment. I want to talk about this. Number 6. The evidence all shows. And you're going to say, well, you're not telling me anything new. But number 6, okay? You see on your screen John Podesta. You see John Podesta? Then you see Barack Hussein Obama. All right? Look at this person, number 7. Okay? That's number 7. Look at that person right there. Look at this person, number 12. Huh? Number 12. Check out this person. Number 11. Okay, let's go with where is the pasty white girl? There she is. Number 52. So first of all, Joe Biden says in the first 100 days, he's going to make sure schools are at least you have in-class participation. You're in school, in the classroom, 1 day a week, at least in the first 100 days. So you call the boss and say, hey, I can work Thursdays, right? Thursdays. See her? Okay. Come back to number 6. Barack Hussein Obama's running this White House. The deep state, Obama's deep state, is running this White House. There is no Joe Biden fingerprints on this administration. None. Joe has put 1 or 2 people in place to give an appearance. But we're going to do a full segment on this because there's a lot. We're going to show you some videos, and we're going to break down. I'm not just saying I think he's in charge. We're going to do a segment that says I know he's in charge, okay? Him and the deep state. Now, one more. I want to do a segment later today on Don't Go Away. This will happen this morning. Where's it at? Let me see where it's at. Is this it in the New York Times? Number 38. Number 38, there's nothing left. Okay? There's nothing left. Thousands of Republicans are leaving the party. That's why we're doing our interviews, and we're going to rural America, the voice of rural America. There's nothing left. Why thousands of Republicans are leaving the party. Voting experts. I love the experts. They called in the experts. Voting experts said the data indicated a stronger than usual flight from a political party after presidential election, as well as potential start of a damage. Sorry about that, folks. I don't know where I lost you at, but yesterday, before I go to break, I'm sorry the video froze up there on us, so I'm sorry about that. Yesterday, all right, I'm sorry about that, Emily. I don't know. I'm going to clean this computer up while we're doing the interview. I apologize. Just give me number 15 real quick. Sorry about the technical difficulty. It keeps happening. We got that covered. So number 15, yesterday, Georgia lawmakers said they're going to give out $1,000 bonuses for most state employees. Yeah, $1,000 bonus for most state employees. Where is our tax break, our income tax, Georgia income tax break that you promised 2 years ago? How about get that in the front of the line? We're going to take a break. When we return, my interview with Joey Corrente from Wyoming Republican Party about censuring Liz Cheney in the heart of the Republican Party. So let's take a break. Don't go anywhere. My interview is next.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in Ellijay, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
Circuit World has 9-piece living room packages at incredible prices. Get this stylish sofa and love seat, 3 tables, 2 lamps, 43-inch 4K TV, and stand, all for only $1699.99 or $129.99 a month. Or get this 9-piece living room and reclining sofa and reclining love seat, now only $1999.99 or $149.99 a month. These packages are amazing. Stop in today at one of our 5 locations and get the furniture you've always wanted at Circuit World.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
Ace is your healthful place for paint and home goods, tools, outdoor living, and lawn equipment. But did you know Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge is a little bit more? We have hunting rifles and accessories for your next hunting trip. We have Amish furniture imported directly from Ohio. And we have Ace Custom Woodworks for all your custom wood project needs, from cabinets to artwork. Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge. We have your new house in stock.
What you gonna do with all that junk?
Okay, folks, we're back, and as you well know, it seems like every day somewhere across this country there's a Republican Party, state Republican Party, county Republican Party, but you continue to hear on a daily basis censure, somebody being censured. And today, you know, this past Sunday I watched Chris Wallace and Liz Cheney, the representative from Wyoming, and she voted to impeach the President of the United States. Liz Cheney is the third highest ranking Republican in the House. You have Steve Scalise, you have Kevin McCarthy, Minority Leader, Steve Scalise, and Liz Cheney. Now there was a vote to remove Liz Cheney as the third ranking member, and that did not pass. She retained her position, her leadership position in the Republican Party in the House. But the state of Wyoming, and let me say this again, Wyoming has one representative. And before I bring my guest in, let's remember the state of Wyoming, although the population is not comparable, the state of Wyoming voted for President Trump 70%. Trump won 70% of the state's votes, the most of any state in the United States. So my logical thinking and your logical thinking may be the representative, the sole representative of the state. Remember the word's representative, right? The sole representative of the state would want to do the will of the people. They're there to represent the people. It's not their seat, folks. It belongs to the people. So I don't know. We're gonna hear for ourselves, but it looks like the GOP in Wyoming, the state GOP, came together and wrote a resolution asking for her to step down. I think that's what the resolution is. It censured her for voting to impeach the president and actually asked her to resign maybe. But joining me now, we're going to get to the bottom of it. Joining me now, Joey Corrente. He is the chairman of the Carbon County Republican Party in Wyoming. He's the author of the resolution to censure regarding Liz Cheney. And Joey, how are you today?
Oh, not too bad. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate the opportunity to get the voice of the people all across the country out to the rest of the people all across the country.
Well, let me say this, Joey. First of all, we own a website called The Voice of Rural America, and we really appreciate you taking your time. Share with our viewers. We're in Georgia. You're out there in Wyoming. You wrote this resolution. Why did you write this resolution to censure Liz Cheney? And while you're answering that, tell us exactly what's in it. Did you ask for her resignation also? Tell us a little bit why you wrote it and what's in it.
Well, just for a little background, I actually run a campaign here that's been ongoing called Rural Wyoming Matters. I'm out in the smaller part of the least populated state in Carbon County, and we have counties that are much smaller than us. And one thing that we haven't forgotten in rural Wyoming is that it is the voice of the people, although it's the voice of the people that has been forgotten. So in the beginning of January, after the siege on the Capitol and all the hoopla that the media wanted to spin it into, once we heard our state representative go before the media and tell them how she intended to vote prior to discussing any of it with, state party officials or even the majority of the GOP leadership or members in the House, we didn't know that there was any evidence. And to this day, we still haven't seen any concrete evidence that President Trump had a riot. So we were, of course, disappointed, and I attempted to get a hold of Representative Cheney that night, and everything went straight to voicemail. Emails either came up undeliverable or unresponded to. So I had a couple of town halls. I called the people together in the county and said, get on your phones and on your internet, and let's talk about this. And we had a 2-hour town hall the Thursday night after the vote. And then the Friday night, we had some of the state leadership on and had another one for about an hour and a half. And what we did was we took the concerns of the people. And there was a lot of anger and a lot of frustration and a lot of what I would call unrealistic but respectable attitudes, things we couldn't do, like let's recall her, let's impeach her, let's, tar and feather, get someone get a rail, run her out of the state. Well, one of the problems is she's not in the state that much anyway. But after playing devil's advocate, bringing the conversation back down to a realistic and functional conversation, we took the concerns that we heard and put them on paper. And by Friday night at the end of the town hall, I had presented a list of concerns and asked, okay, if these are our concerns and we all agree that these are the things, which is the main body of the resolution, what do we want to do about it? And they said, well, what can we do? And my focus has always been to hold our leadership accountable and remind the people that it's our own apathy that kills us. Because in America, the power is inherent in the people. We are sovereign individuals under the grace of God. That's where we get our rights from. Our basic human rights come from God, not from the government. So it is not the government or the representatives that are sovereign. And since I couldn't get a hold of our representative, and the people do have a voice, we ended up putting together a resolution, which by Saturday morning, I had called a meeting of the county party to consider the resolution, which passed unanimously. And what the original resolution contained was a list of about 18 concerns of the actions and the statements that were made by our representative and facts and data based on we have concerns about the election being fraudulent or something in the election being concerning. Donald Trump was elected by the largest margin of any president ever by the state of Wyoming this past year. And it goes on and specifically states what we're concerned about. And the original resolution formally censures her, which by definition is just a formal letter of extreme disagreement telling her the people in this party from this county do not agree with your actions whatsoever. The second part of the resolution called for her to appear in front of the body and explain her actions. That was on January 16th that we passed that and started to publicize it. To this day, we still haven't gotten a direct response from our representative, which further tells us we don't have a representative. We have a figurehead that is using our voice and our party to further their own interests.
All right, Joey, let me get in a couple things you brought up. Saying this in all due respect, my apologies to the people of Wyoming. The way we are treated by many of the representatives and how you guys have been treated out there. She has responded to you. She just responded on Fox News and basically said, you guys are wrong. I don't have her quotes, but you can go look at the interview. She told Chris Wallace, you guys are wrong out there. You will know soon when you get the facts. The people of Wyoming will understand once all this comes out. So she did respond, but just not to the party. But a couple things I want to say here. So she is the sole representative of the state. So what you're saying is you would think generally your representative would call back home and say, how does the state party see this? How is this playing back home? What do my constituents think? What do you guys think we ought to do? Because I'm your representative, but nothing. Bupkis, you don't hear anything from her. Okay. Crickets. And you guys attempt to reach out. You pass a resolution, 18 different concerns. 18 different concerns. I want to get into that. But did your county's resolution, did not the state GOP end up passing a resolution? Has the state not totally censured her, the state GOP?
Yeah, what's happened since January 16th when my county passed the resolution?
Right. What happened after that?
Not only did multiple counties across Wyoming, but different state parties and counties within those states across the nation picked up the concept of utilizing a resolution of either censure or condemnation and let's take Wyoming, for example. We started with our resolution out of Carbon County that by last Saturday when we had our state meeting, 16 counties across the state had signed their support and passed in their own counties either the same or a very similar resolution, which was enhanced. Now, the enhancements that the other counties made, they were allowed to bring that language to the state party on our state meeting on Saturday. And the resolution we passed at the state level not only included the resolution of censure and the demand that she appear in front of the body, but some of the additional language that the rest of the state added was that we would not be supporting her financially or otherwise in future races. We called for her to step down from her position as she no longer represents the Republican voices of Wyoming that elected her. And, a couple other minor things. But the fact is, once the people got a hold of it and realized this may not change everything, it may not have a tangible effect as far as we're going to remove you, they were very interested in making sure their true voices were heard, and they expanded that language, as have other states. Kentucky's got 2 counties that have censured Mitch McConnell.
Yes.
Illinois is working on theirs. Washington State just got an email
I think,
from...
not to interrupt you, I do think the district of Kinzinger, is that his name, Representative Kinzinger?
Kinzinger.
Yes, I think his district did censure him. I think they did, or a county party, but I see where you're going. Go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go with the rest of them.
Yeah. And I believe that all of these entities, whether they be county or state level entities, understand that some people are going to say, oh, it doesn't mean anything, it's a slap on the wrist. Well, that kind of shows their own ignorance of when you get slapped on the wrist by the hand that feeds you, the people are saying something and all of you are thinking you're above them because it's not going to get you kicked out of office. 18 months to the next election is not a lot of time. And what I keep hearing in response, and I even heard this, like you said, in a news show with Representative Cheney, that we'll forget, it's too long, we'll get over it, we'll hear something in the future that'll make us see that we're misguided. And basically that all that tells us is they think we're stupid, or they are in possession of some information that the people need to know, and they won't give it to us. My biggest concern with Representative Cheney and her statements is she said they had enough information at the time to make that vote, but no new information has come out since then. So she said she voted her conscience based on her constitutional duty. That to me sounds like an accusation of the other 167 representatives in the House that voted against impeachment. Did they violate the Constitution if she was following it? And again, these are things we can't get answers, but all I hear answers from the other side is gleaming generalities and dismissals. And the representatives need to learn to take the voice of the people seriously.
Well, Joey, you know what you said, I've watched her extensively. I've watched her in press conferences. I watched when she came out the other day after the closed-door caucus meeting. I've watched everything she's done. And when she says she voted her conscience, well, you know, hey, well, that would be great if these politicians really went and voted their conscience. But let me say it like this. We don't elect you to go really just vote your conscience. You're our representative. We are your conscience. Don't forget. Don't forget what your conscience is. The people of Wyoming, right? I mean, where am I missing this? You know, who told you were to take your own conscience to Washington, D.C.? How about checking back with us? We're going to help you with your conscience when it comes to voting. Am I wrong, Joey? Am I out there somewhere?
Not completely. Functionally, I don't expect our representative to take a poll of the entire electorate of Wyoming every time they have a decision to make.
I get it. But this is big, Joey. This one was big. And
it's not just.
Go ahead.
It's not just that it was big. It was a known question. You didn't have to take a poll. Wyoming took a poll on November 3rd.
There you go, Joey. There you go. Now, you hit it out of the park with that one, because that's where I'm going when I say you're exactly right. Yeah, I'm saying you take your conscience, but when I say this is big, you're sitting there and you're thinking, wait a minute, the guy we're talking about has the highest vote return ever in the state. Yeah, that's where I was going with that. Like, wait a minute, my folks back home might have an overwhelming conscience of their own on this decision. I got a couple of things I want to clear up to make sure we're clear. You started this ball rolling on January 16th. You started this ball rolling with the Carbon County censure that you wrote up. It went through the other counties, and this past Saturday, you had your state meeting, and it was passed. There was a resolution that combined a lot of what went around the state at the different counties, and a resolution was passed on the state level. So she has been censured individually by the counties, but also on the state level on a whole, correct?
Yep, absolutely. By actually 90% of the voting members in the state body passed the resolution of censure.
Okay, where I'm going with this, you said no financial support. So I'm not 100% on the Wyoming Republican Party, your bylaws and how you work. But generally, Republican Party does not get involved in primaries. They wait until there's an actual candidate out of the primaries, and their job is to get their candidate elected. If you're saying no more financial support from the Wyoming Republican Party, where do you guys stand? Don't you already have one or two have stepped up? Can you name them that are opponents of Liz Cheney? Does this mean she gets the automatic backing of the Republican Party, or is the Wyoming Republican Party open now to look at the primary candidates that have stepped up?
Well, we've also got that posture. There's actually a state statute, and it's pretty specific on what the party can and can't do during a primary. And what the real purpose of the no support, it's really no support, financial or otherwise. We tend not to have to give a whole lot of money to candidates that are raising $10 million or they send it back. It was the otherwise part. And what we've started to work on here in Wyoming is if we cannot directly support a candidate during a primary because they have a Republican opponent, what is it we can do? And what we can do is publish information. And then, of course, once they're the party's nominee in the general, we can endorse them and make sure they're carried through. But so I think right now we're looking at voting records, looking at actions, and doing a true comparison of any of the candidates that run for that position. And we are now bound by making sure that we're not giving any support to Representative Cheney. So I don't think it's going to be that difficult. We have candidates that either have solid conservative voting records or statements they are going to make, and then we have a series of pledges for candidates to sign. And all we have to say is, we have this pledge.
Okay.
These individuals, Representative Cheney did not.
Okay. So, all right. This is great conversation. You're sharing a lot with me and really opening my eyes to some things across this country, because I believe rural America, can win the elections. So let me back up here. Can you share with us a couple names that have come out? Are you able to do that? A couple names that have stepped out and said, I'm running as a Republican in the primary. Can you give me a couple of those names in Wyoming that will be opposing Liz Cheney?
Yeah, so far, now we got to remember that the filing period hasn't opened, so nobody's officially running.
Right,
until that.
Until they go qualify, they're not really candidates, they're just saying. But who has stepped out and said they intend to?
A couple of people have actually put together their Federal Election Commission compliance packages, and one of them is a former mayor out of Pavilion, Wyoming, small town up in the northwest corner of the state. Her name is Marissa Selvig. I got to meet her this weekend. Didn't get to talk to her as much as I wanted because we had a lot of business to do, but she's out, started her website and campaigning. And then we have a state senator out of Cheyenne, Anthony Bouchard, who is probably the first person to announce big and start a large media campaign for his run in 2022. Other names have been thrown around the state, but nobody's really come out and said anything solid yet. I know we have another county chairman out of Sheridan named Brian Miller who's seriously considering running, and then one of Representative Cheney's first opponents from her 2016 race, Darren Smith out of Cheyenne, has talked about it with the media but has not confirmed any action on his campaign yet.
Share with us what the pledge is that you're asking the candidates to sign. Can you give us some general information on what this pledge is that you're asking candidates to sign?
Well, one of the main pledges that we've agreed on within the party, and this was something that came up at our convention that we reconfirmed with a larger body than just our regular state central committee body. We had all the state delegates there that said we will ask the candidates to sign a pledge to vote and act in a manner supportive of the state party platform a minimum of 80% of the time in order to receive any support, financial or otherwise. And then at this last meeting, we had another resolution that laid out very specific concerns and expectations to resecure our elections and bring election integrity and confidence back to the people, that has been turned into a pledge that we will have the expectation that anybody running on the Republican brand in Wyoming, whether they be running for the U.S. House of Representatives or county, all the way down to, county commissioner, mayor, city council, that they sign that as a benchmark for accountability, saying when you ran, you signed this, and now you're making this other decision. Let me, like they like to say at the White House, now let me circle back around to an answer we had.
Okay.
Yeah. The vote that Representative Cheney did with President Trump's impeachment, I said it was a known question with a known answer because we voted on November 3rd. I liken it to, Representative Cheney's going to look at a lot of bills, and I don't expect her to call and ask us how we feel on every single one of them. But if one of them has to do with a stated plank in our platform, the expectation of her to vote in favor of a platform position is already there. And we would be just as upset if she voted on gun control in favor of the government versus liberty. That's in our platform. She voted to continue to fund and expand access to abortions. That's part of our platform. So there are things that are more heavily weighted and already known to be an expectation of the people. And that's really where we hold our representative accountable, is this was a known question. And if you did it on this one, how often are you voting your conscience against the will of the people of the party who spend hundreds of hours a year making sure our values are well written, well received, understood, and followed? So that's where these pledges come in.
All right, let me say this. I want to switch gears. I appreciate the time you've given us. I mean, I'm enjoying hearing everything you guys got going on out there. Sounds great. Very active Republican Party. Where is the Republican Party, Joey? Let me set this up because you're hearing this, and I've been doing on my show daily. We've been talking about the soul of the Republican Party. We hear establishment. We hear the establishment, the rhinos, they call it. Is it Trump's party? Is it the People's Party? What is the future of the Republican Party right now? And where do you think Trump stands, the president, Donald J. Trump stands, as far as, is he the leader of the party? Where is the party? What say you? What are they saying at the local Carbon County, Wyoming Republican Party meeting? What did they say?
Well, for us, it really comes down to the people and the professed values. We believe the power is inherent in the people. We have a platform which is scrutinized over. Every 2 years, we revisit the platform, and rarely does it change very much. So what we've seen is there is an establishment component that's been around forever and, has its legacy members and recruits new members. And it's really, you can almost tell in the way they debate anything, whether it's self-serving and allows them to stay, lukewarm and milquetoast in the middle ground so they can get along and get whatever they can out of everybody, or if they're really standing up for the professed values of the party and arguing and defending things with a true liberty-minded posture. We've seen a resurgence in true value-based conservatism over the last, I'd say, almost 8-9 years, ever since the Tea Party thing came up between 2008 and 2012 when it got real intense. But that was an attempt to make its own party. What we have really done is return accountability and the conservative component to the actions of the Republican Party, and there's a lot of establishment people that don't like it. It makes them look unpopular. It doesn't allow them to compromise as much, and probably in the end somewhere it's costing them money because they're being held accountable. I really can't say what the future is, but as far as where Donald Trump fits into that, there was a phenomena, and it wasn't because it was Trump, but I don't know that it could have really been too many other people than Donald Trump that came out of nowhere with no political background. Everybody already knew who he was for one reason or another. He was probably the only candidate in 2016 of the 17 that stood on that stage that was willing and able to drag America kicking and screaming through the growing pains it needed to go through to have an America First agenda and actually operate in a healthy and robust manner. And it was because he stuck to and believed in the principles that the party espoused to. I don't think it takes Donald Trump to do that. We were very lucky to have him for 4 years. I don't think he's going to just fall off the face of the earth. I don't know that he'll come back in 2024 and run again, but he gave us an opportunity, and we have the responsibility now to not squander that opportunity. We cannot ever put all of our chips behind one person. Donald Trump didn't even do that. He didn't even say it's happening because it's me. It was the values that he believed in that aligned with the conservative branch of the Republican Party and his completely unapologetic posture in an America First agenda. And that's what's going to win in the end of the day.
Joey, you're just on it. I tell our audience all the time, I'm a Trump supporter. When you get an opportunity to see the interview, you'll see my mega flag, and you'll see my peaceful protest sign, and you'll see my Trump banner. And yes, I supported the President of the United States, and I still do. But I tell people every day, we can't sit here waiting to see what he will do next. We need to take the doors he kicked wide open and go. I mean, because if Donald Trump does not come back, that's up to him. If he comes back, I think he's popular enough. He's going to be a major player in the party, however he decides to do it. But if he decides tomorrow he wants to play golf at Mar-a-Lago and he's not coming back, we have to say, and tell me what you think what I'm saying here, if you think I'm right or wrong, we have to say the guy came in, kicked the doors wide open, knocked them off the hinges, and we have an opportunity like we've never had before to take that foundation and go with it.
I think you're absolutely right. And I'll give you an example with what we've just talked about. If we have a primary Representative Cheney, do we stop there, clap our hands, pat ourselves on the back, and forget about the people's voice, accountability, and the values? No, the person in the new person in the job is probably going to have a little harder time at first because they still prove themselves to be what we are and what we expect. So if we're hitching everything to a person, and we've got, hope is a horrible plan. It's a great motivator, but you can't survive on hope. And the whole point behind rural Wyoming standing up, writing this resolution, waking people up, shaking them out of apathy, and calling for the resignation ultimately and the censure of our representative wasn't so that we could get her kicked out and just put another warm body in there that'll say a few nice things that we like every so often and then disappear in Washington for 2 years. We are about and need to be about constant vigilance and accountability, regardless of who's in the job, regardless of whether we like them or not. And one thing we can do is make sure we maximize on the energy that President Trump brought to our cause. And if it's him, great. If it's not him, we still have to hold our leaders accountable. The voice of the people be heard. And the minute people go to sleep saying, hey, we elected this guy, he's good, I don't have to worry about politics for 2 years, we've already lost.
You know, the voice of the people had gotten forgotten, and I couldn't agree with you more, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate you taking your time. I'm going to tell you my litmus test. Now you can make comment. You can agree, disagree. We have this great thing called freedom of speech. You could disagree, we won't censor you, okay? You could disagree, we won't cancel you. We won't cancel your Twitter account, okay? So I'm trying to make it clear. If you don't agree, just say it. My litmus test for candidates right now is pretty simple. I have 2 questions. 1, do you believe there's a deep state? Now, the answer is yes or no to me. If the candidate starts politispeaking, as I call it, no, they're out. Okay? Do you believe there's a deep state? For me, that's a yes or no. The second question in my candidate litmus test, do you believe in the 2020 presidential election that there was voter fraud and if investigated properly may have changed the outcome of the election? That's simple. That's my question. All right? And if a candidate politispeaks, they're out to me. Okay? Because those are 2 things I am personally very clear on. Okay? I don't want any more flyers in the mail. I don't know what they do in Wyoming, but in Georgia, I don't want any more flyers in the mail telling me the next guy or the next lady's the true conservative. Okay? I'm pro-life. I don't care to say that, but I'm pro-life. Okay? But I don't want any more flyers in the mail telling me they've got 19, pro-life endorsements. Okay, I like that. That's what I want you to have. I don't want, but I don't want that in the mailbox anymore. Do you understand where I'm going? Because they all tell me. They've been telling me for how long they're all pro-life, but hey, to me, Planned Parenthood's still funded. They're all telling me they're the true conservative, but with a $1.9 trillion rescue plan, if they pass this, we've passed $5 trillion in a year. Sorry, Joey, I didn't mean to get a little out there, but that's my litmus test.
No, it's fine. I think what you're really getting down to the nuts and bolts on is what we appreciated with Donald Trump, the media and the liberals hated, was you're looking for straight talk and then seeing some action and actual results out of that. Now, I'll never hold my representative accountable if I can see them going in there fighting, voting a certain way, standing on the floor and making the argument, and just, you know what, hey, they've got too many votes, and it was a clear partisan vote. I got it. As long as you're maintaining the fight, I'll give you a little credit. But what I won't do is listen to your gobbledygook and trying to explain to me why you compromised instead of negotiating. It's a huge difference between those 2 things. And you're right, the mail flyers that you get, I don't know how rural you guys are, but I've got a standing rule myself. If I get something, I won't throw it away immediately, but having run a campaign myself, I know it's how much information can you get on a piece of paper that someone can read between the mailbox and the trash can. That's the rule. And normally it's a bunch of garbage. So if I haven't seen you come to my county to try to ingratiate me and get my vote, I'm not going to read your mail.
Hey, I don't get somebody on the phone very often for Wyoming. I know I said I got to go. You've been more than, I've really enjoyed you as a guest. But as a conservative and involved in politics my whole entire life, I was in Washington, D.C. when the Tea Party was there. I went, okay? And I remember the 2010 Tea Party and what took place in this country. But what we ended up with was John Boehner out of Ohio, okay? And then when we got done with John Boehner, they handed us Paul Ryan, okay? Now, for me, I'm not ready to take back 2020 and have them hand me Kevin McCarthy, Steve Scalise and Liz Cheney. Sorry, I'm not there. And, I think that's where we got to stand up. I'm a Jim Jordan kind of guy, maybe, there's several others out there, but, I don't want to do all this work and end up, and I'm sorry, I don't want to be the one all the way across the country knocking your representative. You only have one, but you guys kindly took that out of my hands when you voted 11 minutes of debate. You guys didn't take long.
Well, the funny thing is that was one of the few top in state party history that opened debate to public comment. And we have a rule that you get 1 for and 1 against, and we decided to give them 5 on each side in case one ran out. Not one member of the public showed up to that meeting to speak in defense of Representative Cheney.
Is
3 members.
Is she? Is she? I say this tongue in cheek, okay? Is she in real trouble in Wyoming? Because the fear I have across the country is listening to her talk to Chris Wallace is, reading between the lines. She didn't say this, but I'm thinking reading between the lines. She's basically saying, you know what? By time election comes, I have so much money, I will saturate all the airwaves, all the mailboxes, and I will get the people of Wyoming to believe I was correct and I need to be here. Is she in serious trouble? Is this going to be a serious competition in her primary?
I think she has a lot to think about, and I think the biggest thing she'll need to think about as time goes on is, first of all, like I said, with if you don't come to my county, I'm not reading your mail. She needs to actually be in Wyoming. She has not been in Wyoming once yet this year. Last time she was here was December. The other thing she has to do is she has to find a legitimate following that will keep the heat up as much as those of us that are concerned are putting the heat on her. And this isn't about getting rid of Liz Cheney. This is about making sure the people have an opportunity to speak their voice and have it heard on a day that isn't election day at the ballot box. So really, I think the biggest thing she's going to have to think about, does she want to waste $10 million running in Wyoming, or does she want to spend $8 million running in Virginia? That's really the focus we're going on, because we can't tell her she can't run. We can't tell her she can't run as a Republican. We're letting her know, you could fix this, some of it anyway, but you have to engage your people. Not through Chris Wallace, not through a letter from a staffer. Show up and be amongst your people. Explain to us, like we asked for in the resolution, what was going through your head and what your real feelings are. And an excuse is just an excuse. You have to make us believe that that's legitimate and not waste the next 2 years only fighting this partisan Biden-Harris fight. You're going to have to do things for the heart and soul of the people in Wyoming. So she could win it, sure. She could be completely right. But I don't think that right now Wyoming's in a posture where we're going to let this go in the next 18 months. And I guarantee you, anybody running against her that is worth their salt is going to have 30-second sound bites of all of this concerning garbage plus this issue in every one of their campaign ads.
Yeah, and let's not forget, I don't want to, well, I guess I'm going to call it an enemies list. I hate to put it like that, but, I understand sources right now, so we'll wait and see that President Trump might be making the rounds and endorsing primary opponents. And I know in Georgia he's used our governor's name, Brian Kemp, several times in Georgia. So he's so you might see somebody step up as a true challenger, and next thing you know, you might have Trump landing Trump Force One somewhere out there in Wyoming one day to do a rally with her opponent. So that's all in the cards in the future.
The only candidate that hasn't announced yet that I could guarantee that beat her is if Donald Trump wanted to come to Wyoming and run himself. I guarantee you he'd win. But that notwithstanding, if anybody in the Trump camp hears this, what the people of Wyoming would like to see, if that is going to happen, is that you look at a Wyoming candidate, because there's already a lot of talk going around that we're not going to replace one carpetbagger with another.
I got it. Joey, I can't thank you enough for taking the time and talking to our audience out here. Love for you to come back and be a regular and keep us up with what's happening out there. You need to know I have been wanting to come out to your part of this great country, the U.S. of A., this great country that we have, America first. I've been wanting to come out there for a long time, so I'm on my way. So don't get caught off guard if we don't meet here sometime soon. I might show up at a Carbon County Republican Party meeting one night in the back of the room, because I would enjoy that. I can't thank you enough. I've enjoyed this, but I've got to go to break. But I want you to stick around a second, because when I go to break, I want to get a little more information from you before I go to break. But I can't. Is there anything today you wanted to share with people that we didn't get a chance to talk about?
No, anything we've got going on, you can find us at on Facebook. It's the last platform we're still not kicked off of somehow. We're at the Carbon County, Wyoming Republican Party, and we keep that pretty well up to date, including when our meetings are going to be. So, you or anybody else want to come out here and see how we're doing it, everyone's invited. One thing about the Republican Party in Wyoming is all of our business is open to the public. You may not always get to participate, but you can always be present. So look us up on Facebook and, send us all your support that you can and ask questions and see what we can get going in your neck of the woods, and hope to see you guys in the future.
Hey, wait a minute. Give us a weather report. What's the weather like?
Today it's nice and calm. It's about 36 degrees out, and we only got 20 miles an hour wind coming out of the southwest. But starting tomorrow, we're supposed to get a cold front coming in, and it looks like by Thursday morning we'll be down to -5 with 35-mile-an-hour sustained winds and snow for 4 days. But that's just February in Wyoming. It is what it is. All
right. Hey, Joey, you hang on there. Don't go nowhere. Let me get over to break, and I'll get back to you. So don't leave us yet. Folks, right. so great to have Joey Corrente, the chairman of the Carbon County Republican Party in Wyoming. And good to reach out, find out a little bit on the ground. Everybody else runs for, I like to talk to the people. And you know that. You know the show. Our focus is rural America, the people on the ground, we the people, the voice. And we can't tell you how much we appreciate Joey joining us. Folks, we're going to be right back after this. I want to break down some things that just happened in this interview here at home and how they compare. So we're going to take a brief break, and we'll return in just a minute.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
Circuit World has complete queen bedroom packages at amazing prices. Get this queen bed, dresser and mirror, 1 nightstand, bedding set, and free 32-inch TV, all for only $1799.99 or $129.99 a month. Or get this complete queen bedroom set and sleep in style, also for only $1799.99 or $129.99 a month. What an incredible deal! Stop in today at one of our 5 locations and get the furniture you've always wanted at Circuit World.
North Georgia is truck country, and nobody discounts Chevy trucks like Days Chevrolet in Jasper. Now save $8,000 off new Silverado crew cabs, or save $5,700 on the all-new body style Equinox. Every Chevy truck and SUV discounted big. See Days Chevrolet in Jasper, the low-price leader in truck country. Days Chevrolet, Days gets it done. Find new roads.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in Ellijay, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
Circuit World has 9-piece living room packages at incredible prices. Get this stylish sofa and love seat, 3 tables, 2 lamps, 43-inch 4K TV, and stand, all for only $1699.99 or $129.99 a month. Or get this 9-piece living room and reclining sofa and reclining love seat, now only $1999.99 or $149.99 a month. These packages are amazing. Stop in today at one of our 5 locations and get the furniture you've always wanted at Circuit World.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
Ace is your helpful place for paint and home goods, tools, outdoor living, and lawn equipment. But did you know Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge is a little bit more? We have hunting rifles and accessories for your next hunting trip. We have Amish furniture imported directly from Ohio. And we have Ace Custom Woodworks for all your custom wood project needs, from cabinets to artwork. Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge, we have your new house in stock.
What you gonna do with all that junk?
All right, folks, we're back. I'm your host, BKP. You're watching BKP Politics on FYNTV.com. Emily, here's what we're going to do. When our guest calls in, we have a 9:30 guest in 4 minutes. We're going to be talking about the impeachment. Retired Detective Tom Whatley is going to be calling in. When we do that, I'm going to give you the signal. Just go to our card. Folks, don't go away. We're not going to commercial. We're going to do like a 15-second sound check with our guest and come right back. So at 9:30, Emily, I'll let you know. We just slide over. Give me number 50. I want to run through just a couple things before our guest gets on here. Number 50, right here, okay. Yes. CDC report, double masking can block more than 90% of the viral particles. Yes, double masking, folks. Double masking, okay? Don't say it, BKP. Don't say it, BKP. Don't say it, BKP. When they're going to come out and give you the double condom may completely give you. I said don't say it. What the hell's wrong with me? Double masking. Block more than 90%. I asked myself not to say it. You heard me try. Now, the impeachment. Let's get there. Give me number 47. All right. So we've heard the Democrats, and we'll get into that a little bit. Okay. The big lie, the election was stolen. Okay. Stop the steal. So during the break, I went and I got my button, stolen, stand with Trump. I guess they may arrest me. That's what the button says. Stolen. You can't see it. I went and got my stolen button. Stop the steal. Fight like hell. Stop the steal. Okay? So we've had 2 days, and I want to have a guest on here because I want to get not another perspective, but I want to hear what somebody else thinks about the defense that's coming up. How do you defend this that has taken the pictures and the videos? I watched a 13-minute video. I watched that, right? I watched the video of Mitt Romney running out in another direction. I watched a video of Chuck Schumer running the other way. I've watched a video of them getting Mike Pence, Vice President Mike Pence, down the hall. So now listen, after this brief segment, all right, hang on, Emily, there's our guest. So go ahead, put the card up. We won't be gone 15 seconds, folks. All right, folks, we're back. I want to take a brief break there to get our guest in. Joining me now, I'll bring him in just a minute. I have retired Detective Tom Whatley on the line with us. But we've watched 2 days of Impeachment 2.0, the daily soap opera, folks. And we're going to, later in the morning, unpack the shadow government because we always have to look what's underneath the daily soap opera called Congress and the, as I refer to it, hashtag deep state corporate corrupt media. But that being said, we've had 2 days. They have presented their case. We had Swalwell from California, which we know Chris had the prom date, the Chinese spy, right? That his prom date. I mean, it's ridiculous, folks. I remember Castro, one of the impeachment managers, wasn't it Castro at one of the debates that promised to extend pregnancy or extend rights to transgender women, reproductive rights. We couldn't figure that one out for days. I'm sorry. I don't want to get sidetracked. Anyhow, Republicans are going to start defending what you saw on TV. How do you defend this? How do you defend the videos of lawmakers coming within steps of these rioters? How do you defend them chasing Mitt Romney? How do you defend the Vice President Mike Pence having to be whisked away and sent down the back stairwell? How do you defend this? So I'm going to ask my guest to see if he can help me in how do you defend this. My guest now, retired detective Tom Whatley. Tom, how are you today?
Oh, great, Brian. Long-time listener and first-time caller, so it's great to be on with you.
Well, just so our folks out there know, I know you've heard me say in the past, I like to go to the people, and I just enjoy this show so much. I try to connect with the people. You and I, just so they know, we've had a couple conversations off the air about as the world turns, the soap opera that we're living in today, and we've talked about this and the impeachment. Now, you can take time if you wish to discuss the last 2 days, bring up some of the things on your mind. But what I really want to get from you is your perspective. I want the audience to hear your perspective. What is the defense? Now, I just set it up. I've watched the videos, Tom, the 13 minutes. I've watched lawmakers running in the Capitol. I've listened to the 911 calls by the law enforcement. You are retired law enforcement yourself, so you know what those 911 calls sound like. You've been involved in those many a times. I've listened to all that. Today starts a defense, and some people out there are going to say, how can you defend Donald Trump? What say you, Tom?
Well, first of all, I watched some of the video clips that the prosecution, if you will, decided that they were going to play. Oh, those are great little snippets for the shock and awe like we see in much of the fake news. But what's going to happen is the defense is going to show their videos. They're going to show, wait a minute, Donald Trump actually said, and if you read the transcript, guys, go home, and this is a peaceful protest. And he was talking to peaceful gatherers at his presidential podium when he gave his speech. But I tell you where the biggest crime is. As one in academia who studied Con 1, Con 2 and administrative law, I actually had to pull my textbooks out because the Democrats are moving the goalpost on this. The first thing, I have never seen in my history of being a detective in the hundreds of trial hours I had and thousands of hours of case preparation where a judge with the jury gets the vote. And that's what Patrick Leahy does. Because had that been the Supreme Court Justice, Chief Justice Roberts, he doesn't get the vote in that. And he's supposed to preside over presidential impeachments. But we've got a fellow senator up there, if you will, Patrick Leahy, who actually voted on the constitutionality, whether we can move forward. Now, I've never seen it. Maybe, Brian, you've seen it someplace. You tell me if you have. But have you ever seen a judge also vote with a jury on a decision on how to proceed? I've never seen it.
Wait a minute. How many jurors are there in a court?
It depends on the crime. It could be 6. It could be 12. Of course,
let's go with 12. Just for the fun of it. Yeah, I want to answer your question. I've never heard the judge say, well, you 12 say this, let's make it 13. Right. You're exactly right. I've never seen the judge go with the vote.
Not in a petite jury or even a grand jury. A prosecutor presenting the case does not vote in that. That's up to the grand jury, and in petite juries, again, with that. And Patrick Leahy technically is the Democrats' appointed judge, and it's a first. It really is, because it should be the Chief Justice. But we know what happened, Brian. We know what happened. Chucky Schumer decided he was going to call Chief Justice Roberts and say, "Hey, listen, we're gonna roll with the impeachment." He says, "Guys, that's unconstitutional. I want nothing to do with that." So they had to tap Patrick Leahy on the back.
All right. Well, not to quote that. the Constitution. I don't have it open, but it says that the trial, which the Senate is the trial of the impeachment, the trial would be presided over for the sitting president. The trial would be presided over by the Chief Justice. And basically, Roberts says there's no sitting president. I
Correct.
mean, is it that simple? There's no sitting president, so there's no need for me to be there.
Well, the operative word in the impeachment clause, Brian, is removal from office.
Exactly.
And who are they removing? I mean, he's on the beach right now in Palm Beach and playing golf full time. So I'm not sure who they're removing, because that's the now I think in history only once they did an impeachment trial. I think it wasn't Jefferson. History is escaping my mind, but they've only tried to do this once, and that was back in the late 1700s. But it's not been done since. Nixon, of course, we know they drew up the articles of impeachment, but but the problem was he didn't have Republican support. The Republicans says, "Listen, you're involved in a major crime here, and we're going to go ahead and vote against you." So he just fell on the sword. But we know that's not the case. It's going to take 2/3 of the Senate to get this done. They don't have the votes, and we know that. And the Republicans are they're going to determine the outcome of whether this country is going to stay divided or not. They're going to say, "Well, yeah, we're going to go ahead and vote for a guilty verdict and try to reunite the country." Well, they're falling on the sword if they do that, because then they have to go back home. Or they can say, "Guys, you don't have a case." And honestly, I don't think they have a case, Brian. I've looked at the transcript of what Trump said, and think about this also. They took 7 hours to do articles of impeachment on Donald Trump, but they took 9 months to get $600 out to the American people. Yeah, they can work fast if they want to.
Well, let me throw a couple more things out here while we're on this topic. Okay, you read the transcript, so I want to go back from that, because I know several people that attended the January 6th that were in Washington, D.C. I know several people that are probably going through being put through the FBI face recognition software now, but they did not attack the Capitol. They did not take weapons. They did not. Their weapon of choice was an American flag. That's all they had, or wore a Trump hat. So
right.
So I know a lot of people that were there. So if you look at the transcript, but the impeachment managers, they're talking about the big lie, and they're talking about over a period of months, and they went through one thing after another of what Trump had said that incited this, and basically it led up to it. So if you're Donald Trump's attorneys today, how do you defend this? And I get it. Now, for me, I guess I'm going to answer my own question. I just go in and say, folks, he's not here. The Constitution says removal. I look up there on the bench. That's Patrick Leahy, not the Chief Justice. I read the transcript. At no time did he say to go do anything out of line. Close my case, go home. But obviously, they're going to have to use their 16 hours or come close to it. What do you see the possibilities that will be used as a defense today on Trump's side of this?
Well, I'm gonna say, when a president is speaking, gosh, if I think what they're trying to do, and here's my thought on this. In order to get a censure of him not being able to run for president again, they need a conviction in the Senate. Without the conviction, they can't do a censure of him not running if there's no conviction. They can't do it. That's their first hurdle, is to get never mind the conviction. They don't want him to be able to run for office, because he's hinted that. He's jokingly, sometimes you don't know where Donald's coming from. That I might be back again in 2024. He's throwing it out there, right? Because Donald's brilliant at throwing something out there for the media to twist, and he knows that they do that. So they're saying, okay, we don't want him to run again, but if you research a censure and not being able to run for office, well, I could give the argument Alcee Hastings. You know, he was impeached and removed from the federal bench. Now he's a United States congressman on the Judiciary Committee, I might add. So, you know, that's really not going to work for them. But you know, because they need that conviction. It's not going to happen. We know it takes 2/3 of the vote, and so the goal is the defense is just going to come in and say, hey, Donald wasn't even there on the Capitol steps. We got some fruitcakes that are wearing horned hats and war paint going in, and you know, and some guy stole a wooden podium and walked out with it and a computer. I mean, really, not one shot was fired by the alleged insurgents. So, what do you have an insurgency with a group of? And I did. Listen. I'm like other, you know, moderate conservatives. I say, hey, look, man, you got a few wackadoodles, you know, going up and entering the Capitol, trying to interrupt it. But, you know, we could say the same thing during the, you know, Supreme Court hearings when they were trying to get Kavanaugh. And they were interrupting the Senate hearings, which is what these guys were trying to do. They were trying to interrupt the Senate hearings. And unfortunately, we had some deaths out of this. But, boy, I tell you what, my far lefty buddies and friends were awfully quiet over the summer and fall with the 46 people that died throughout the United States as it burned. So, you know, I look back and say, first, they were for, you know, riots and violence, and then they weren't. So it's amazing how far this has come around.
Well, I'll tell you what, as a retired detective, my respect to law enforcement and our support, and you can see in my studio here, I got my Blue Lives Matter flag. You know, Officer Sinitki or Sisnik, or I forget his name. I don't want to disrespect missing his name, the Capitol police officer that died. You know, I am glad that they talk about it on the media, but boy, they sure did gloss over the former chief of police out there in St. Louis. Is his name Dorn? When he was murdered in St. Louis this past year in the riots, they glossed right over that in the media. So I get it. Let me ask this, just two more things I really want to get to. All right, as a police officer, the 911 calls, they played the 911 calls. They were you know, between the officers going in. You made a point. I find it interesting that the Kavanaugh hearings, they actually did not barricade the Capitol. They brought the people in, allowed them to stage the protests. Okay, allowed them to stage the protest. And who was the senator, if I can remember? It was Jeff Flake from Illinois, right in our Capitol, Tom. You remember the lady that screamed at him in the elevator on video? Just screamed at Jeff Flake and screamed at Jeff Flake in the Capitol. And Jeff Flake went back and said, okay, we need a further investigation. Folks, go look that up right in the Capitol. They're talking about attacking, you know, and breaking the barricades. You know, everything was set up not to allow these people in to protest what was going on. You know, but during the Capitol hearings, it was okay if a lady got right in Jay Flake's face with a video camera screaming at him. You know what I'm saying, Tom?
Yeah, and funny thing, a lot of that group was out of the Me Too movement, but yet we've got what I call the hair-sniffing segregationist, you know, now in the White House, who's had accusations and, you know, and real people. So I want to know where the Me Too movement is. They sure went dark all of a sudden.
Okay, so Tom, I appreciate you coming on, but I ask everybody this. I think you hit the nail on the head here. The whole thing here is so Trump can't run again. I mean, they're just trying to make it. We're hearing the next step is the 14th Amendment. We'll go there at a different time. But I think you covered it best when you said never to run again. And so where is the Republican Party? What is the heart and soul of the Republican Party right now? And what do you think the fallout will be from this? in the Republican Party?
Well, I think the Republican Party, you've got 75 million people that supported this man, maybe, and that's just the ones we know about. You've got the silent out there, or the people that could not vote for whatever reason still supported, the former president. So the Republican Party, if Donald Trump, like your previous guest said, decides that, he's just going to golf, he's out of it, which I don't think he is. That's not his style. He is going to remember the Republicans that turned on him, like Liz Cheney, and there's others. And he's going to campaign in the primaries. He draws the crowds. The Republican Party knows this, so they can't just say, "Oh, we're just going to brush Donald." Even if Donald Trump's convicted, let's take it that far. Let's do a hypothetical. If Donald Trump is convicted in the Senate, he still can fill a football stadium. We know that. So what's going to happen with the Republican Party? They're going to say, "Well, we need the people, we need the money," and we get money at those rallies. We know that when another candidate is running for office, you've got the people sitting there with the tables, the fold-out tables, and they're collecting the envelopes. So it's a money draw. Trump fills the stadiums. If they ignore Trump or they shun him, there's no way we can flip the House, either chamber of Congress. But Trump has the ability, if he gets out there in 18 months, he can flip both the House and the Senate, and it can easily be done. And with Donald Trump, without Donald Trump, in my opinion, it doesn't happen.
But as you said, and I want to close with this, and I'll give you the final word. I have said often, if he decides to go to Mar-a-Lago and say, "Look, I gave you 4 years of my life. I took a knife in the back daily. Never a day passed that somebody didn't stick a knife in my back. I gave back my salary. I never took a dime in money from the American people as a salary. I'm just going to play golf." We, the people, need to take what was laid out for us and go with it. We need to go with it, as if Trump never comes back and gets involved.
Yeah, and that would be detrimental. And I did not appreciate Lynn Wood's comments, because some people, our fellow Georgians, took that to heart. And if you look at the numbers, Brian, over 100,000 people less voted in the Senate race here on January 5th than they did in the Trump race. And, all cheating aside, if 100,000 Republicans would have got off their butt and voted, we wouldn't be having this conversations of everything free-flowing right to Biden's desk. Because right now everything's free-flowing because Georgians stayed home. A lot of them did. Yeah, we can talk about the cheating all day long in Fulton County and whatever happened, but 100,000 votes would have nullified all cheating, and they stayed home. And one of my neighbors stayed home, and I talked to him in person about that. I said, "It's guys like you that cannot complain when you don't vote. I don't want to hear any garbage that, oh no, look what they're doing up in the Senate." Well, you gave them the Senate along with some fellow Georgians, and it was all on us. So I fault the Republican Georgians for allowing that to happen, because they stayed home because they were upset about the Trump race. And you got to carry on. You got to move forward.
I got it. I got it. I'm with you on that. Got to go vote. We got to. You're 100% right. It was over 100,000 that did not go back to the polls, and just in our district, in the 9th and the 14th, I think about 40,000 was just in that area right there, 40 to 50. Tom, I appreciate the conversation. I've enjoyed it, and thanks for saying, hey, anytime we have something to talk about. Retired detective, want to bring you in anytime you feel you got something to add, sir. I appreciate it very much, and I enjoy having you on the show.
Well, I'm in the same county as you, and I'm retired, so I'm looking for other stuff to do. My hair is growing long. I got COVID hair, so I really enjoy it.
Tom, I don't find many people that admit they're in the same county as me, so be careful out there, all right?
I know it. Well, it's good talking to you, Brian.
Same to you. Have a great day. Okay, Tom Whatley, retired detective. Met Tom not long ago through social media. Got to talking, and he followed some things with the show. Followed some of my posts that I do, and we had a conversation. I reached out. We had a conversation. retired detective, and has some great insight. I really enjoyed my conversation, and I thought I would like to bring him on the show and share some of his insight with you. We're going to have him back from time to time on some of the subjects. I'm your host, BKP. You're watching FYNTV.com on BKP Politics. Now, when we come back, okay, take Tom's picture down. I really want to go into the shadow government. I want to do a full segment on who's running the thing, number 6, okay? Because I will tell you this, and I want to do a full segment on this for a reason. We've watched Joe Biden. We watched Joe Biden sign 50-some executive orders. And I'll tell you, when I have phone conversations and I look through social media, very up there in the top, like David Letterman's top 10, right? Some of you out there don't remember this, so anyhow. But the top 2 or 3 things is who is really running the West Wing? Who is the government that we have running things today? And that's the question out there. And everybody says, most people say, it's not Joe Biden. Well, we know that. I believe there's a deep state. Sorry for those that don't. Attack me. But I believe there's a deep state, and I'd like for you to look at John Podesta and none other than Barack Hussein Obama. And Joe Biden is not doing anything. They gave Joe a pen, and they said, Joe, if the ink runs out, call us. We have another one for you. That's it. Just keep signing. And here's the list of things. When you sign number 22, Joe, read this. When you sign number 38, read this. We'll be right back. The shadow government that's really out. The soap opera you're watching. Let's talk about the shadow government behind the scenes. Take a break, Emily.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in LOJ, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair, and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
Circuit World has 9-piece living room packages at incredible prices. Get this stylish sofa and love seat, 3 tables, 2 lamps, 43-inch 4K TV, and stand, all for only $1699.99 or $129.99 a month. Or get this 9-piece living room and reclining sofa and reclining love seat, now only $1999.99 or $149.99 a month. These packages are amazing. Stop in today at one of our 5 locations and get the furniture you've always wanted at Circuit World.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
Ace is your helpful place for paint and home goods, tools, outdoor living, and lawn equipment. But did you know Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge is a little bit more? We have hunting rifles and accessories for your next hunting trip. We have Amish furniture imported directly from Ohio. And we have Ace Custom Woodworks for all your custom wood project needs, from cabinets to artwork. Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge. We have your new house in stock.
What you gonna do with all that junk?
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
Circuit World has complete queen bedroom packages at amazing prices. Get this queen bed, dresser and mirror, 1 nightstand, bedding set, and free 32-inch TV, all for only $1799.99 or $129.99 a month. Or get this complete queen bedroom set and sleep in style, also for only $1799.99 or $129.99 a month. What an incredible deal! Stop in today at one of our 5 locations and get the furniture you've always wanted at Circuit World.
North Georgia is truck country, and nobody discounts Chevy trucks like Days Chevrolet in Jasper. Now save $8,000 off new Silverado crew cabs, or save $5,700 on the all-new body style Equinox. Every Chevy truck and SUV discounted big. See Days Chevrolet in Jasper, the low price leader in truck country. Find new roads.
All right, folks, we're back. I am BKP. You're watching BKP Politics on FYNTV.com. Now, Emily, I want to name this next segment, and I want to get this out here. Barack Obama, shadow government. Let's see. Joe Biden administration being run by shadow government. Barack Obama, shadow government. Something like that. You got it? I think you got it. Now, yesterday, let's start. I hope you're probably recording this segment. The shadow government. We've watched Joe Biden sign 56 or whatever executive orders. And somebody posted on social media and put number 7 up. Somebody posted on social media why is Joe Biden signing so many executive orders? Why is he signing so many executive orders? He has the White House. He has the Senate. He has the House of Representatives. Why 50-some executive orders? Why? Because well before, let's go with number 6. Well before Biden was installed, I have my stolen button on today, probably breaking the law. But well before President Joe Biden, not my president as you keep posting on Facebook. Long before Joe, not my President Biden, I get it correct there, was installed with his team, the media, and stop and think about this. This is one of the things I preach. I guess that's what you want to call it. The media laid a cover for Joe. And every day the media would come out and say, Donald Trump is not going to participate in a peaceful transfer. Okay. Donald Trump is not allowing Joe Biden to have security briefings. And we could be unsecure as a country, right? That's what you heard on the news. Joe Biden's transition team, Trump will not participate or cooperate with Joe Biden's transition team. You need to know at no time, now the media made it look like this was possible World War III and we were vulnerable and it was just terrible. We were not cooperating with his transition team. You need to know the entire time the media ran that cover layer, okay, on a daily basis on the soap opera, at no time did Joe Biden, okay, ever have a problem with it. The shadow government had a full setup. They've had setup for a long time. The shadow government was working on day one. The shadow government could have cared less if Donald Trump's administration ever called. They were ready. You see, they know how to do this. They've been in charge before. They actually were there one time on day one. And they have the whole group of deep state behind them that's been there for years to the transition right through. Why, a couple guys like this with the rest of the deep state team, they knew exactly what to do at 12:01. There was no delay. Why, they were feverishly, as they had Joe Biden playing with the German Shepherds, feverishly putting the executive orders together. Why, they were not looking to work with Congress. They were not looking to work with Democrats. They did not need Nancy or need Chuck, because they had 50-some ready, and they said, what we will do is we will do one a day or two a day, but we will We will lay out how many every week, and they were ready to go. At no time ever, no time ever, excuse me, were they wondering what to do? The shadow government. Now, Joe Biden is just in there with a pen. And I said this earlier, I'll just say it one more time to put it in the segment. They lay an executive order in front of him. And next to the executive order, when you sign, and it says, when you sign executive order 37, so he sees 37, here are the things you look at the camera and passionately say. All right? So that being said, yesterday, this lady, number 7, they had, I find it interesting that they have put her, and let me see here. Let me see. Hold on a minute. Neera Tanden? So that's what they're saying, the pronunciation. Neera Tanden, all right? But it's interesting that they put her confirmation hearing scheduled the same week as the impeachment. And I'm just wondering, is this a coincidence? Does this just happen that her confirmation this week is the same days as the impeachment? Now, let's listen. We'll get into who she is in a minute. Let's listen. Office and budget management. Is that what it is? Let's see. Let me make sure. No, I don't want drunk Tom Brady. No, I don't want that. Here it is. Right, Neera Tanden. And Center for American Progress. Center for American Progress. Let's just go with this to start out. Bernie Sanders asked Neera Tanden about her vicious attacks on progressives, okay? Senator Bernie Sanders asked. But we have the impeachment going. So pull up the Bernie Sanders video. Stop it when I tell you to on the hearings for her yesterday, because we're getting into who's running the show, okay? And you better wake up. This is Wake Up America, okay? Go ahead. Run the Bernie Sanders video.
Oversight of federal agencies, no small tasks. For the past 10 years, Ms. Tanden has served as the president and CEO of the Center for American Progress. Prior to that, she worked in the United States Senate as a legislative director and served in the Obama and Clinton administrations as a senior domestic policy advisor. Good morning, Ms. Tanden, and thanks very much for being with us. Before I go further, let me mention that we have some new members of this committee, and let me welcome Senators Lujan, Padilla, Sass, and Romney to the Budget Committee. This committee has very broad jurisdiction dealing with any policy that impacts the federal budget. That's a lot of stuff out there. And at a time when our country faces an unprecedented series of crises, this will be a very active committee in which we will be exploring many issues, including trying to get an understanding of what is happening to the working class of this country, the middle class, and lower income Americans. And I hope we're going to have those good discussions in a civil manner. The American people need to hear different points of view. They need to get an understanding of why what is happening in this country is in fact happening. In general, we don't do a good job as members of Congress. The media doesn't do a good job. And I hope this committee We'll have civil, serious debates about some of the most important issues facing America. We are going to explore what it means that in this country today, the people on the top economically are doing phenomenally well, while so many tens of millions of Americans are struggling right now in America to put food on the table, to pay their rent, or to have the income they need to go to a doctor in the midst of a pandemic. Today in America, we are living through the worst economic crisis since the Great Depression and the worst public health crisis in more than 100 years. Real unemployment is over 11%. Over 23 million Americans are either unemployed, underemployed, or have given up looking for work altogether. Unbelievably, more than half of American workers are living paycheck to paycheck and are just one medical emergency, one car accident, one lost paycheck away from financial disaster. In America, disgracefully, we have the highest rate of childhood poverty of almost any major country on earth. The COVID-19 pandemic is still raging across the nation and is responsible for taking the lives of more than 450,000 Americans. And obviously, all of us hope that we're going to address that crisis as rapidly as possible. But meanwhile, in the midst of that pandemic, over 90 million Americans are either uninsured or underinsured, and we remain the only major country on earth not to guarantee health care to all of our people. We've got a climate crisis that is ravaging nations all over the world, including the United States of America. We have an affordable housing crisis where so many of our people are literally paying half of their income.
All right, remember where you're at on that. Try to remember right where you stop. Because I wanted you out there, the viewers, don't forget where you stopped on that. I wanted you, the viewers, to see all the crises we have: housing, poverty, unemployment. We are in total crisis. I wanted to set in with the American people. Bernie Sanders is the chairman of the Budget Committee. The Senate Budget Committee, every damn dime, and I mean damn dime, every damn dime, that's the chairman. His little placard says, Chairman Bernie Sanders. That's who we gave that committee to. Oh, yes. They will vote to move things to the floor of the Senate for approval. Any dollar, dime, penny. No matter what it is. That's the chairman of the Budget Committee. Okay? And yesterday, this is the hearing for, okay? And they don't want you to see this. This is the hearing for, again, number 7. So Bernie says, hey, she's got 10 years. She's got 10 years where, okay, she's been in the Obama administration, the Clinton administration. You can't get any more deep state. She has been in 600, is it 600 and some thousand, $55,000 that they took from Mark Zuckerberg. She was 10 years the Center for American Progress, right? Center for American Progress. Now go to the Center for American Progress. You look this up later. Go to number 6. John Podesta. Number 5. She has to resize this. John Podesta there. Number 5. Founder and a member of the board of directors. Founder and a member of the board of directors. And what would that be for? Center for American Progress. John Podesta, Obama, the lady that's now going to be in charge of every dime. Now, the hearing is for her to she's nominated for the Office of Management and Budget is what she's nominated. So go back to her picture. Sorry about that. Go ahead to 7. What is the Office of the Budget, Management and Budget? The OMB. She's Obama all the way. John Podesta all the way. They have taken the Center for American Progress, hundreds of millions of dollars, corporations, different countries. Yes, Mark Zuckerberg. All this is the corruption. Creme de la creme. Is that what they call it? Right? This is the top. This is as swampy as it gets. So they held the swamp monster that they need to slide through on impeachment week, right? Because who's going to turn the channel? It's a soap opera. This is on this channel, and impeachment over here is on the other channel where they're playing videos and they're playing riots and they're playing broken windows and there's drama and there's sex. Yes, there is. Yes, there is. You do a Google search. Do a Google search on and see what you come up with. I'm not going to put it out there. One of the impeachment managers, originally from Brooklyn, the black lady, we will call her, representative from the Virgin Islands. Just do a little looking into that. See what you come up with. Let me know. Just saying. But who's going to turn the channel of sex, rock and roll, drugs, corruption, everything? Right? Who's going to turn the channel when it's like Fast and Furious movie to this? You're not going to do that. But what is the responsibilities of the OMB? Generally, just a couple. Just a couple. Let's look at just a couple. Give me number 9. Do the research on this lady. Give me number 9. Why is the OMB important? Why is it important? The mission. This doesn't make its job less important. The agency helps the president implement his vision for the country. Why? It helps the president implement the vision for the country. Well, wonder who's in charge. Wonder whose vision for the country that would be. Joe Biden's? Hell no. The OMB gathers, analyzes, and filters budget requests. The OMB oversees. Wait a minute. This can't be true. The OMB oversees communication between the executive branch, that would be the president, and Congress, and also prepares executive orders and presidential memorandums. None of that can be true. Well, that would only mean she, an Obama deep state swamp monster, could be running Obama, John Podesta, the America for Center of Progress, whatever. She could be running somebody else's agenda through the Oval Office and not just Joe. Let's look at one more thing. Okay. Number 10. The OMB, Office of the President. The OMB is, wait a minute, this all has to be wrong because as important as this is, And I know what you're going to say. Well, I didn't hear you talking about who was in charge of the OMB, Mick Mulvaney for a long time. Who was in charge of the OMB and your concerns when Donald Trump was president? I just think it's interesting, the swampiest monster of all. Okay? Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the swampiest monster of all? And who would come up? I got to do it just for fun. Number 7. Go to 7 and number 9. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the swampiest monster of all? Okay, I just had to do that, folks, for myself, if not you. Number 10. The impeachment. OMB, okay? OMB is the largest component of the executive office of the president. Just can't be right. I've got to be wrong. The office, the budget, is the largest component of the executive office of the president. It reports directly to the president. So she and Zuckerberg and the deep state and Obama and the shadow government don't, in this case, report to the president. They are the president. It reports directly to the president and helps a wide range of executive departments and agencies across the federal. They help everybody, federal government, to implement the committee's commitments and priorities of the president. So it implements the priorities and commitments. It is the largest component of the executive office. It reports directly to the president, and the mirror, mirror on the wall, the swampiest monster of them all, number 7, okay? It's her confirmation hearing, and we're nothing. You're not getting, what's her name?
Neera Tanden.
So Neera Tanden, okay? Neera Tanden, an American political consultant and former government official. She is the president of the Center of American Progress. John Podesta is the founder of the Center of American Progress, and he is a board member, okay? All the way back, Bill Clinton, 92. What a swamp monster. And Barack Obama in 2008, and she even worked with Hillary Clinton's campaign. She helped draft the Affordable Care Act. I'm not, now some of you say, let's see, I'm not SHI asterisk ing you, okay? I'm not. During the Obama administration, Tanden helped draft the Affordable Care Act. On November 30th, Joe Biden announced he would nominate her as the next Director of Office and Management and Budget. Office of Management and Budget. Most important job there. Strongest power through the purse strings of the chairman with all of the crisis going on in America, Bernie Sanders. Oh, God, is anybody watching? Now, we got to throw Kennedy in there. Put Kennedy's video, because she trashed Bernie Sanders, but I'm not for sure it wasn't a front, because I think they all do setup. So I'm not for sure she didn't know what she was doing, but she has deleted her tweets, and she's not apologetic for calling Bernie everything except for, well, let's let Kennedy tell you. Go ahead and play Kennedy.
Thank you. Answer. I have to tell you, I'm very disturbed about your personal comments about people. It's not just one or two. I think you deleted about 1,000 tweets, And it wasn't just about Republicans. And I don't mind disagreements in policy. I think that's great. I love the dialectic. But the comments were personal. I mean, you call Senator Sanders everything but an ignorant slut.
That is not true.
And
Senator.
when you said these things, did you mean them?
I wouldn't have said ignorant.
Senator, I have to say, I deeply regret my comments.
I understand that, but
And
when
I
you
feel
said
badly
them, did
about
you
them.
mean them? I understand you've taken them back, but did you mean them?
I'd say the discourse over the last 4 years on all sides has been incredibly polarizing.
I'm asking about yours. Did you mean them?
I really feel badly about them, Senator.
Did you mean them?
I feel badly about them.
Did you mean them when you said them?
I mean, I would say social media is I've
Did
heard
you
a
mean them
terrible
when you
discourse.
said them?
I feel terribly about them.
Did you mean them when you said them, or were you not telling the truth?
I mean, I feel badly. I look back at them. I said them. I feel badly about them. I deleted tweets over
Are
online.
you saying that because you want to be confirmed?
No, I felt badly about them. And
Did you
deleted
mean them when you said them?
Senator, I must have meant them, but I really regret them.
I want the record to reflect that I did not call Senator Sanders an ignorant slut. Okay?
Thank you. I don't know how I should take that, Senator Kennedy, but Senator Kaine.
Thank you, Mr.
I want the record to reflect that the swamp monster was out yesterday. And America's watching the impeachment 2.0 of President Donald J. Trump, okay, on the soap opera. Okay? Because, look, go do your research today on what these people, who these people are, what they're doing. Now, just a couple minutes, because we've got another segment before 11 we want to do. And this one, I'm going to get a little deeper into the soul of the Republican Party. And I also want to touch on impeachment as we close, and also Georgia giving out bonus checks. But play a little more Bernie Sanders for just a second. Go there until I tell you to return.
For rent. We have a racial injustice crisis in America today that this Congress is going to have to address, and we have an immigration crisis as well. And given all of these unprecedented crises, it is absolutely imperative that we have an OMB director who has the courage at this moment in American history to think big, not small. We need an OMB director who is prepared to stand up to powerful special interests who dominate the economic and political life of this country, including what goes on here in Congress. We need an OMB director who can work with the president and Congress to create an economy that works for all of us and not just wealthy campaign contributors. Now, Ms. Tandon, at a time when the wealthy and large corporations have extraordinary influence over the economic and political life of this country, I must tell you that I am concerned about the level of corporate donations that the Center for American Progress has received under your leadership. According to the Washington Post, since 2014, Center for American Progress has received at least $38 million from corporate America, including Wall Street and every special interest that I can think of. So before I vote on your nomination, it is important for me and members of this committee to know that those donations that you have secured at CAP will not influence your decision-making at the OMB. Further, I would like to hear how you plan to work with this committee and the Congress to enact the promises that President Biden made to the American people. I think one of the reasons that so many people are disillusioned with politics in America, given up on democracy, politicians make promises and they run away from those promises. President Biden made a series of promises, and I'm going to work with him to make sure that we implement those promises. President Biden promised to raise the minimum wage over a period of several years. to at least $15 an hour. He promised to make public colleges and universities tuition free for working families and to substantially reduce student debt. He promised to lower the Medicare eligibility age from 65 down to 60 and to also cut the outrageously high prices of prescription drugs in America. President Biden promised to rebuild our crumbling infrastructure and create millions of good-paying jobs and combat climate change. He said he would fight to make pre-K universal, to make sure that every 3- and 4-year-old in America has the quality child care and pre-K education that they need. President Biden promised to make sure that every worker in America has at least 12 weeks of paid family and medical leave. And yes, President Biden promised that he would make sure that corporations like Amazon began to pay their fair share of taxes. The next OMB director will play a major role in determining whether those policy proposals succeed or whether they fail. And I want to hear from you this morning how you plan to work with the president, this committee, and the Congress.
All right, folks. Just want to remind you, Bernie Sanders is the chairman. Racial injustice, the list, the grocery cart. Bernie Sanders is the chairman rolling around the store in a grocery cart with a grocery cart, throwing this socialist program, this socialist program, this socialist program. We need an OMB director, okay? That's going to think big, not small. Now, some may ask me, why did you play Kennedy's clip and not Josh Hawley's? Because Josh Hawley goes after those corporate, donations. Because I wanted to put a couple things together before I close this swamp that is just devastating to this country. I mean, devastating. But the media will only play today Kennedy's soundbite of saying that Tandem, is that her name, Tandem, or whatever her name is, did everything but call Bernie Sanders an ignorant slut. That will get the airtime. When I want you to know that the media will run how she does not like Bernie Sanders and Bernie Sanders does not like her. They will run with that because it's a manipulation. The lie is a total manipulation. Because I want you to know this. Chuck Schumer, as majority leader in the Senate, do you think he knew what he was doing when he made Bernie Sanders the chair of the Budget Committee? Do you think Chuck Schumer said for 1 minute, I need a chairman of the Budget Committee to go up against the OMB director, which is the strongest arm of the executive branch, and hold Joe Biden accountable? You've lost your mind. Joe Biden knew what he was doing when he appointed her. Bernie Sanders and Chuck Schumer, they knew what they were doing when they put him in that position. I will be shocked, totally shocked, if Bernie Sanders doesn't vote for her to move her nomination out to a floor vote. Okay? Now, one other thing I want to talk about, and we're going to go to another segment because I've got a lot to do today. It's almost 11 o'clock. We're not done, okay? But don't forget, this guy here, McDonough, right? Is that his name, McDonough? Dennis McDonough? Is that his name? I don't know. Senate confirms, give me number 12. Senate confirms former Obama chief of staff to oversee the VA. Okay? So go look at all of the ones that are really in the power positions. Okay? that are Obama deep state, this guy is the head of the VA now. Obama, former chief of staff. Now, go take a look at the people in Obama's administration that came out. I mean, well, that's correct. The people in Obama's third administration, the people in the Biden administration that don't need a confirmation that are in there. Give me number 11. Biden taps Susan Rice for top White House domestic policy job. Domestic policy job. And Bernie Sanders is talking about racial injustice and poverty and housing. How did that government housing work out for you? Right? So they're all together. You know it and I know it, and the American people know it. This is who the deep state Joe Biden has got no control. This is number 6, who is running the show. Running the show. Right? I have a question. Why every time they talk about giving you a check, $75,000 is somewhere in the area of the cap? Is that what they feel? Is that the equality level that they want to achieve for all Americans? I don't know. You asked. I don't know. That John Podesta, Barack Obama, the swamp couldn't get any deeper than what's going on right at the time of the impeachment. When we come back, we're going to talk about the heart of the Republican Party, and I have a couple, we'll say, bold statements I want to make, so don't go away. Take a break, Emily.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in Ellijay, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair, and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
Circuit World has 9-piece living room packages at incredible prices. Get this stylish sofa and love seat, 3 tables, 2 lamps, 43-inch 4K TV, and stand, all for only $1699.99 or $129.99 a month. Or get this 9-piece living room and reclining sofa and reclining love seat, now only $1999.99 or $149.99 a month. These packages are amazing. Stop in today at one of our 5 locations and get the furniture you've always wanted at Circuit World.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
Ace is your healthful place for paint and home goods, tools, outdoor living, and lawn equipment. But did you know Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge is a little bit more? We have hunting rifles and accessories for your next hunting trip. We have Amish furniture imported directly from Ohio. And we have Ace Custom Woodworks for all your custom wood project needs, from cabinets to artwork. Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge. We have your new house in stock.
What you gonna do with all that junk?
All right, folks, next week, tomorrow is Friday. I'm your host, BKP. Welcome back to BKP Politics on FYNTV.com. Tomorrow's Friday, and we will be at Circuit World, and we'll have our Ask the Doc segment, and we'll have our All-Star Political Panel, and then we'll move right into our Pet of the Week from the Humane Society. Next week, we want to get into the Georgia politics that we've been promising. I'm going to schedule a day where our friend of the show, D.A. King, actually comes up to the studio and sits right next to BKP here as we talk about immigration, what's going on in under the Gold Dome. I'm going to give him a chance to talk about some things, some legislation that's near and dear to him and all of us, should be to all citizens, American citizens. It's that simple. So they are trying to the next move after impeachment is criminal charges. Okay, criminal charges is next. So what's next? What can they think of now? What would they do now? Right? It's criminal charges. That's coming next. Okay. Oh, this button, this says stolen. It may be against the law that I have this button. So we have go to quick card. I want to see, this might be a call I'm waiting. Just go to card for 30 seconds. All right. So sorry about that. And but we have next is the criminal charges. But right now we have give me number 8. There was a Zoom meeting. Okay. So when you say what's next, he's going to be acquitted again. Then they're going to go 14th Amendment. Then there's the criminal investigations. Will the FBI, will Joe Biden's FBI, will Joe Biden's Department of Justice open a criminal investigation into private citizen Donald Trump? Just don't think it's over. The vote, when they take it, they're not done. Okay. So they need to make sure we don't have a unified Republican Party. They have to try to explain. Now, there's something I'm going to say now that I will say tomorrow, and you need to catch on to what I'm about to say. A group, okay, more than 120 former Republican officials held Zoom meeting to discuss forming breakaway and anti-Trump third party based on principled conservatism. As ex-president spokesman brands them losers. Evan McMullin, okay, headed up the call. Names floated included Integrity Party, and the Center Right Party. Now, I told you this, and I want you to pay attention to this and grab this and go with it. Yesterday on the show, I told you, right? We've said it over and over. I don't want flyers anymore, push cards in the mailbox that I'm the candidate with 19 pro-life endorsements. Now, we want our candidates to be pro-life, but we don't want that. We don't want the push cards in the mailbox anymore, the political ones that say, I'm the true conservative in the race. Okay? But they've done polling, and listen, because always it's mind control and it's manipulation. It's the word manipulation for the brain. Okay? You have heard over and over that this is still a center-right country. That voters are center, just a touch to the right. Okay? So they plan to grab that. You will hear center-right. Center-right. Okay? Center-right party. Now, I sent you a video this morning from CNN, okay? And they are licking their choppers, all right? I got 8 minutes. They are licking their choppers on this one, all right? and I had it up here just a minute ago. I sent it to you, and I want it at 2 minutes. Wait a minute, where did I send it? Give me the. It's called CNN, and it is. And I'm going to tell you exactly where I want it. I'm sorry that it's taken me a minute, but they say center right. I wanted it 2 minutes and 35 seconds. All right? The video. If you could play that for me. 2 minutes, 35 seconds. If you can put that in, set it and play it. Set it and forget it.
And Congressman Dent, John framed it, I think, really interestingly earlier in the program. Is it also a choice between Vice President Pence's life and Donald Trump's acquittal? I mean, have the House managers successfully set it up as you can either be with Mike Pence and that he had to run for his life that day and be, ferried out of the chamber, or you can stand with Donald Trump?
Well, but the most disturbing part of yesterday's video were the images of Mike Pence and his family and Senator Schumer and Romney, being whisked out of the Capitol just moments before the mob was about to descend upon them. I mean, that is what is so striking. I mean, that performance yesterday by the prosecution was simply overpowering. I mean, you contrast that, with the defense, which was so weak. I mean, somebody may have to invoke the mercy rule here if this trial continues at this rate. But we all know that the outcome is not likely to change much. I'm hoping that a few senators may actually be persuaded by what they heard. Probably not enough to convict. But Mike Pence, poor Mike Pence. I mean, he was at risk. They wanted to take him down.
So, 1 second, Congressman Kennedy, because I want to go back to Charlie with one more question here. What are you going to do about it? Is the question now, Charlie, in terms of the Republican Party? We understand that you were part of some big conference call with 120 Republicans. I would like to know exactly who they are. What are your plans?
Yeah, well, the plan was this. I mean, the 120 people want a new direction for the party, united around some common principles like truth and honesty, democracy, rule of law, reason. I mean, that's partly what they're talking about. Many, I was in the camp of maybe, how about a new faction within the GOP or a new faction independent of the GOP? Some wanted a new party. I think the group was fairly evenly divided, but everybody wants a new direction and rejects this whole cronyism and this ugliness that we've seen the last 4 years. So that's where the group, I think, is. I don't want to speak for the group. I can only speak for myself, but there are a number of prominent people there. Michael Steele, Charlie Sykes, Bill Kristol, among others. So we had quite a group who spoke and made their presentations. And like I said, Evan McMullen organized the event, so I don't want to speak for the group because I didn't organize it.
Congressman Kennedy, reasonable, rational Republicans, does that worry you?
It sounds great. It sounds great. Look, our system, for democracy that aspires to be a Big Ten, that we say to this about our country literally on our founding document.
Charlie Dent, former congressman of the Lehigh Valley there in Pennsylvania, is not center right. Pence's life. Think about this. You're going to hear this. You heard it yesterday. You're hearing it from all of the deep state media. Are they going to choose between Mike Pence's life or Donald Trump? Prosecution was overpowering, Dent said. Rational Republicans, it sounds great, said Joe Kennedy. A Democrat. Charlie Dent, 120. Was it 120? Got together. They're center right. You heard some on the list. So I don't have time to go into much more. I want to ask. When they talk about that, I want to show you really quick. They're playing it over and over. I've heard the 911 call. You have watched the videos. I want to get the one picture up here. Got 3 minutes. to launch. Here it is, number 23. Damning videos, number 23, show Vice President Pence, lawmakers narrowly escaping deadly mob. Damning video, escaping deadly mob. They're whisking Mike Pence, and they keep showing that and showing that, along with other things. I get it. The Hollywood edited, scripted montage that they put together. You know, they were looking for Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer and Mitt Romney. Just saying. Just saying. They weren't looking for Jim Jordan. They were not looking for Andrew Clyde. They were not looking for Marjorie Taylor Greene. Just saying. Just saying. They were not looking for Josh Hawley. Just saying. So, Mike Pence being whisked away, and the soul of the Republican Party. I will say this, damn, even with 3 hours, I didn't get to everything. Is it David Souter? Really quick, give me number 13, okay? And this is, I wanted to do this segment earlier. I didn't get to it, but here is the list of Supreme Court justices, and let me close with this with 1 minute if you're here. Clarence Thomas is 72. This is Stephen Breyer. Why do I keep calling him Souter? This is Stephen Breyer. I'm sorry. Bill Clinton put him on there. He's 82. Now, we're pretty sure he's gone. And Obama wants to get, somebody around 49 in there, okay? Because keep in mind, the three top, 72, Clarence Thomas, 82, Stephen Breyer, okay, and 70, okay, Samuel Alito, our actually true conservative justice that I feel we could trust on the court, Samuel Alito, okay. Those three right there are in that danger zone, 70 plus. Don't get on me. I know it's 11 o'clock. And then Sotomayor is 66. Kagan, the softball player, is 60. 53 for Gorsuch. 55 for Kavanaugh. 49. But the two most conservative, just want to highlight this for a later date, the two most conservative justices on the court, Clarence Thomas, 72, Alito, 70. So we are on, put Clarence Thomas up there. Number 14, we are on Clarence Thomas watch. Yes. Please, where's Mike Lundell? I'm not accusing him of anything with his pillow. We are watching Clarence Thomas. Please do not, Antonin Scalia, Justice Thomas, please do not. If you see him with any pillows, one across the face, whatever. I'm your host, BKP. We are out of here. We will see you tomorrow at Circuit World. What a packed show. We didn't get everything in. My sincere apologies. There's a lot we got going on. We'll get to this weekend, okay, and get back to you on, tomorrow at Circuit World. Emily, I'm just rambling. I guess it's time to go when you start rambling. 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, Circuit World. Have a nice day, Emily.